Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the best damn professional wrestling podcast on the planet Earth today. I am, of course, one of your three co-hosts, Mr. Perfection, Odin's greatest creation, the gift of this generation, Mr. Perfection himself, Dakota Carter. And I am here once again with my guy in the chair himself, Mr. Magic Fingers himself, Andrew. And today we are doing something a little different. Of course, I don't know if that episode is going to be up by the time you're seeing this. Probably not, because that's going to be for a rainy day. But there's an episode coming when maybe during Christmas when we're all busy and families in and stuff that we did the top 5 tag teams of all time. Now, this is just our opinions. If you don't agree with it, fuck off. It's our opinion for a reason. Um, this episode will be titled "The Top 5 Factions in Our Opinion of All Time." We have 5 each, so that's 10 altogether. 5 for Andrew, 5 for me. So, Andrew, I'm gonna let you start first, man. Who do you got as your number 5?
Number 5. Well, I was debating on where to start this at because there's just been so many, and we're dwindling it down to just the very few, and potentially some honorable mentions down the road, which I know from mine. If you could come through the screen, trust me, you probably wouldn't smack me in the face. But I have to start it out with the Ministry of Darkness, and they because that was the turning point during the Attitude Era, where it was almost not safe for someone of my age to be able to watch TV
No.
when wrestling came on, because if they were on the screen and mom or dad had the remote control, it was an instant click somewhere else. So it actually got a little better when they went from Ministry of Darkness to corporate ministry.
Yeah.
And so that's they have to start my list with number 5.
Yeah. Funny enough, they're actually my number 5 as well.
Oh, sweet.
For that exact reason that you just said. I mean, it was the turning point for the Attitude Era. Obviously, I did not grow up in the Attitude Era, but I've watched a lot of tape in my day. And, I remember as a kid, right when the network had came out and they had all this great stuff, I was like, oh, I can finally go back and watch the Attitude Era. My mom walked in right at the point where Boss Man was getting hung from the cell. And, needless to say that episode that I was
or
watching.
when they had Stephanie on the they were going to put her as a
They
tribute.
had Stephanie up and was going to crucify her and sacrifice her.
Oh my God.
And that's the same day we find out that McMahon is the chosen one, or whatever, the leader of it. And it's just like, oh, there's so many twists and turns in that. It was beautiful. It was very beautifully written, even though as controversial as could be.
Yeah, that's why I had them at number 5, because I think they pushed that Attitude Era.
Oh, they pushed that boundary like crazy.
Pushed it to
what could even be allowed on TV at that time, and not only the time frame that it was on, what day of the week it was on as well, but there was nothing on TV like that on regular cable. You had to go to HBO or something like that to see anything like that at all.
Yeah, like it got pretty dark during those times, so that's why they're my number 5. So no, I'm not gonna reach through the screen and smack you because we.
Oh no! Trust me. Later on, you will.
Oh my goodness!
The honorable mentions. Trust me, you will.
Oh goodness! All right, Who is your number 4, my guy? Who do you got at number 4?
I have, going back. Now this is WCW era.
Yep.
I have the NWO.
Yeah, they're
and I have
somewhere on my
all
list.
brands of the NWO.
Yeah.
Where it was black and white, red and black Wolfpack, as well as LWO.
Yeah.
Because that was right before the end of the WCW era. But it was great to see how their main faction of WCW, when you really think about it.
Yeah.
How the Outsiders came over.
They ran the business.
When Hulk came over, or when he surprised everyone and joined and showed what a true villain could be like. Because we hadn't seen that yet. We've never seen that big of a baby face go heel. And then see how they just brought total destruction and chaos every Monday night. But then to see how they transformed into a brand split
Yeah.
and then another so-called brand split, and just then for like war games, you could have had the three going at it. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. That was probably the
Yeah.
best way WCW could have ended, even though it started to get a little ridiculous after a while. It was still beautiful.
Yeah. I genuinely think you hit the nail on the head. They did not crack my top five, but you'll get my opinion on the NWO here very shortly. My number four, and I think this is going to be controversial, because they're a current faction, and it's the Judgment Day. Because it was great when it first started. I think
Yep.
it breathed life into Edge's career when he didn't have no direction. And I think it made Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley into the stars they are today. Uh, and it
Yeah.
also gave one of the best professional wrestlers on the planet himself, Finn Balor, another covenant to do something and show how good he was. And they're still going today. And the storylines that they got going on with Judgment Day are fucking awesome,
Yep.
because we can slowly start to see the expansion of Judgment Day, but they're slow. It's a slow burn. So that's why I had them at number four, because it puts so many people on the map. Um, so I think that's going to be controversial, but that's why they're number four for me, is because they put a lot of people on the map.
And your reasoning for that is why my number 3 is where they are.
Mm. Okay.
And that is because my number 3
Here we go.
is the Nation of Domination.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Because you look at the members of that group, it was Farouk, it was Mark Henry,
Yep.
it was
D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo Brown, it was The Rock, and it was for a time Ahmad Johnson too, wasn't it?
I
Or was
think
he supposed
so.
to like a probie at one point? But I mean, it was. But the same reasoning that you just had was that you know that forming of that faction brought all of them, and it was Ron Simmons and the veteran that he was and is, and him forming this group. You just didn't see it, and as controversial as they were at the time, just all of them being black men, and of having their own brand, whatever you want to call it, just
Yep.
that was just when they came out, you knew, as Mark Henry's song was at one point, with
About
the
to get
House
their
of
ass
Pain,
kicked.
someone's gonna get their ass kicked, and that's exactly what happened whenever they came out. It didn't matter if it was D'Lo Brown, because I mean, each one of them could hold their own very well.
Yeah.
But the way their careers went afterwards, they just to the moon. The only one that really didn't have the greatest career afterwards was D'Lo Brown, but that
And
was
he
because
should
of an
have,
injury.
because dude was great.
Yeah, I mean, he had that injury, and then the issue with Terry. But other than that, that entire faction was amazing, and
Yeah.
that led The Rock to the superstar that he was.
Yep. D'Lo Brown is probably one of the most underrated superstars of all time.
Oh, dude was brilliant, and for his
The
size to be able
the
to do the
head
things he was
bob,
doing. Oh yeah,
just
dude, just
so
how
good.
he didn't get a headache after just doing that the one time, and then he would do it all the time in his match. Just
They were great. So that's a very good number three. For my number three, though, and this might show my era and just my age a little bit, I have the Undisputed Era. Um, for
okay,
for a reason, because they were a group of guys who basically all of them were stars in Ring of Honor. Uh,
yeah,
and of
yeah,
course, they would, form the night that Adam Cole would debut and take out Drew McIntyre at NXT TakeOver. But just the way that they take these three indie darlings, for lack of a better, these four indie darlings, pretty much, when they added Roddy Strong, and they ran NXT. They were our generation's for lack of a better comparison, Nation of Domination in a way,
Yeah.
to where you have these outcasts that were shunned from WWE for the longest time because they're indie
Yep.
darlings, and they were able to form this group and put NXT on the map and have some of the best moments in NXT history. And that theme song, oh my gosh, like wow. So that's why they are my number three pick. And I don't care what anybody says. I think the Undisputed Era was great. I think NXT Black and Gold needs to be on a Mount Rushmore of its own.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
that's very, very, very likely.
yeah, that's why I have Undisputed Era at number three.
And
Going,
I love your explanation of it, because once again, your explanation leads to my next choice.
oh boy,
And it's perfect, because you talk about how these other indie darlings, indie wrestlers, formed a faction and just took over.
yep,
When you say that, you cannot think, or you can't not think of the Bullet Club.
God damn it, I knew I was forgetting
You
something on
can't
my list.
not think of the Bullet Club. And when those guys came around in 2013, and the rebellious little faction that they were, with Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, the Young Bucks, the Gallows, Anderson, Finn Balor, you name the group, the individuals that are still a part of it.
Cody
But
Rhodes,
how they were in all different
companies, pretty
brands,
much.
different companies, and how they were together for a bit, how they've gone out and made themselves major stars, major names that everyone knows. But yet, anytime someone is doing any kind of reference in any shape or form, that was a group that is just, you talk about like a biker group or something. Like, I really thought initially the Bullet Club was a biker group of some kind,
Yeah,
because that's what it sounds like.
yeah,
But just the brotherhood and bond they've had over the years, and all of the companies they've gone to, come back, and whatever, they are just so well known, well respected everywhere they go.
yeah. And they popularized the Too Sweet.
Yep.
They brought it back to popularity, and it is still something that I don't shake hands with people. I usually just do this, and some people get it, and other people look at me like I'm crazy.
Yep.
But
You didn't think you're a Texas football fan or something else, but
yeah, yeah. So this is normally don't shake hands with people. I'm not really a big hugger, but if you get a too sweet for me, you earn my respect, and you mean a lot to me because that symbol is pretty much the symbol of Brotherhood Entertainment as well. When we created the whole Brotherhood Entertainment brand, this was our calling card. So, um, very good pick. And I knew I was forgetting something on my list, and it's what pisses me off because now that you say that, I'm upset that they're not on my list. But for number two on my list, how can you have a faction list and not have this faction on there? And it's D-Generation X. I mean, arguably they were the most popular faction. Kids in the 90s were getting banned and getting suspended from school for telling people to suck it. They didn't even know what it meant, but they did it because DX did it because it was cool and they were cool. They
had the pink slip
revolutionized.
to prove it. Had
Yeah,
the pink slip to prove it.
yeah, buddy.
Kicked off the bus, kicked out of class, kicked out of school, and all of it.
And
Either for
that,
telling someone to suck it or giving them the hand gesture itself.
yep. So
And that was neat for everybody at that point, because everybody could have received it.
yeah, like it was that popular. It was the most
Yes.
popular thing in the world at that time, and they brought in so many guys. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn,
Oh, yeah.
obviously one of my favorite tag teams. Um, and oh, if you didn't know, you better call somebody
Oh,
and
yeah.
figure it out because they were fantastic. But I thought I would put them on here, and I had somebody else in their spot because I have a lot of honorable mentions that we'll get to before number one. but D-Generation X, I feel like had to be on this list just because of the impact they made in business.
Yes.
Who do you got for your number 2, Mr. Magic Fingers?
Well, Bullet Club was my number 2.
Oh, okay. So your honorable mentions. Who do you got?
Yeah. Here's where you would definitely come after me.
Oh
So I
boy.
have a two-way tie for my honorable mentions.
Mhm.
And I hate the fact that we only did a top 5 for the factions. Because I didn't want to leave these 2 factions off the list, but I
Mhm.
just didn't have enough room for all of them.
Mhm.
Even though they are both amazing and the impact that they had and have are just incredible.
Mhm.
I have the Nexus and I have the Wyatts.
Oh, you're right.
Because they were both unpredictable
Yeah.
when they would come out. And you talk about an emotional mind fuck to anyone that got in their way.
Oh my
You
gosh.
didn't know when they were going to attack. You didn't know when the lights were going to go out, who was going to appear, where they were going to appear, who it was going to be, or if anyone in your group was going to be conscious when the lights came back on. They were terrifying. And the way, and that's not just the Nexus, that's, the Wyatts as well. But
Mhm.
just see the type of destruction that both of those factions did. One of them being just a bunch of NXT guys that
Yep.
came up and put the entire roster on notice
Yep.
immediately and destroyed anybody in their path, that ring, everything. And then the psychological factor that the Wyatts did on you was almost as painful as the physical beating they gave you as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then to see the pay-per-view they did of Survivor Series, where it was the WWE locker room legends at the time versus NXT rookies. And that was one that almost you couldn't miss that pay-per-view. That's
Mm-mm.
one of those you could call in sick to work type of pay-per-views. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, that's
And
a
the only reason
battle.
I didn't at the time was because I was in the military and you can't do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was, I absolutely love those guys.
Yeah. Fantastic. Both great picks. I guess I'll go to my honorable mentions now. So I have I have two names that I didn't quite put on my list, and I actually changed my number 1 right before we pushed record. Um, and I don't know if you can consider this a faction, but I do. Anything with 3 or more people to me is considered a faction. So
Okay.
my honorable mentions, first of all, is Evolution. I think um, just what they did for Randy Orton and Batista
Yeah.
alone, um, taking those 2 young guys and putting them under the tutelage of Triple H and Ric Flair was a brilliant idea. And they ran roughshod in the early 2000s. Um, so that's why they're one of my honorable mentions. And the other honorable mention I had was the Shield. The Shield to me is the peak of my childhood because they were the guys, other excluding my number 1 pick, that made me want to root for the bad guys. I remember being, 10, 9, 10 years old and watching them show up at Survivor Series and just wreck everybody involved.
Oh, they brought absolute bedlam and chaos everywhere they went.
And that first year with them winning the tag titles and Ambrose holding the US title, like they made you feel like you wanted to go out and beat the shit out of somebody with 2 of your best buds.
Yeah.
They made that stuff cool. They made it
Oh, yeah.
cool again. And that's why they're my honorable mentions. They didn't quite crack my top 5 just because my number 1 means so much to me personally. And it, you know, I couldn't fit those 2 in there, but those are my honorable mentions. But I will go up to you now. Here you go, your big moment, your number 1 pick. Who do you have as your greatest faction of all time.
I've never been a fan of the heels, which is kind of ironic because my favorite college team is the North Carolina Tar Heels. But when you think about it, there's only one group that's been the best known prototype for creating charismatic, talented, ruthless heels. And they always came up with this symbol.
Oh, wow. Yep.
The Four Horsemen. From starting in the 80s, going through the 90s, even the 2000s, and then seeing some of their children trying to make the Four Horse Women, which technically, yes, we had them, and they were all amazing. But you look at some of the names that were in the Four Horsemen. I mean, you got Flair, obviously, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard, J.J. Dillon, Luger. You had Barry Windham, Sid Vicious. You had Chris Benoit. You had Brian Pillman. I mean, over the years, you had more individuals that recreated the Four Horsemen. I believe Dean Malenko was in there as well at one point.
I believe so, yeah.
But to see how that same group, either whether the name or it was just founding members coming back, recreating for a one night only situation, but when those men came out, it didn't matter how old they were, because even Arn Anderson, after a while, he came out and he still had one mean right hand, and he could still give you one hell of a spine buster as well.
Yep.
So he was no joke, no matter even how much older he got. But when they came out, it was ass whooping city.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't a wrestling match. That was a bar fight, basically, in the ring. And that's, you didn't want to be on the other side of the ass whooping they handed out.
No, you sure didn't. I'm upset now that they're not on my list. I completely forgot about the Horsemen, and I'm ashamed of myself. That is a valid pick for number one. That's actually phenomenal pick for number one. But my number one, you have already said my number one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nexus. These guys made me want to love the bad guys. Like Mr. Magic Finger said earlier, these guys were so unpredictable. And sometimes you didn't even know if it was them. They were so good because sometimes the lights would go out. Somebody get the shit beat out of them. You didn't know who did it. Backstage, fucking equipment boxes would be turned over. Poles were laying on the ground. You didn't know if it was a Nexus or what had happened. And their debut specifically, to me, is the greatest faction debut of all time. They went after the top dog in WWE as a bunch of NXT rookies, and they beat the ever-loving shit out of John Cena.
And no one came to help him either.
Nobody. They beat the shit out of I'll show you that clip when we get done here. They
tore the ring apart. All you saw
did.
was the plywood there, and they were still body slamming him on it.
Yep. Jesus. So that's why they are my number one, because they have to me, one of the most iconic debuts, one of the most memorable debuts. And the only downside is the way that their whole story ended with that SummerSlam bullshit debacle that they had that was terrible. But
you had to continue to love them even though when Punk took over. When Wade Barrett was no longer the lead and then Punk took over, it was still entertaining to see them out there.
Okay, so another hot take I have. I think Punk's Nexus was better than the original Nexus.
Yeah. You could make a very valid argument for that. Now, although the intro to them, you can't top that the way they initially came out. Yeah. But the new Nexus, definitely better than the core. I mean, come on.
What the hell was that?
Right.
And their theme song. Good God. Just
but when Punk was doing those unexpected things, standing at the top of the Titantron, making everyone think he was just going to jump off of it and things like that. But all of the stuff that he did as the leader and the other names that he added, like Mason Ryan and a few others, like it just, he brought out some beef hoss to come out there and just kick ass.
Yeah, and the initiations backstage when they were forming that group. Poor Husky Harris got the shit beat out of him with a leather strap.
Jesus.
Yep.
I mean, poor Bray Wyatt, man. He like you could tell those were real shots. That was a
Yes.
shoot, and he was about to tear. I mean, what a grown man to his knees.
I mean, see, that was almost just as hard to watch as when Cody Rhodes was getting whooped up by MJF.
Yeah.
When he took those 10 lashes. Like that was just hard to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely hard to watch. But I think we have both of us have solid lists here.
Oh, very.
Very solid list. I know a lot of you are probably wondering, well, where the hell is your third co-host? We have no idea. I know he's a busy man. He's got that AEW schedule going on right now, but I've got a lot of questions in my DMs about our third co-host, and I have no idea. I mean, he was supposed to be here again. I'm not going to do a shoot promo, but as a business and as a brand, pisses me off. And I'm sorry to our viewers that are subjected to having his name in the logo and his likeness in the logo when he doesn't put in half the work that we do.
Well, if he doesn't show up, that's just.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to go on a shoot, but I just wanted to apologize to all our viewers because you guys absolutely love Magic Fingers and me. You think that we're great, and I keep getting questions about our third co-host, and I don't know how to answer those questions without sounding like a complete and utter heel. We all have lives, we all have business, but to me, this is the best part of my week. Andrew is one of my best friends that I will have for the rest of my life. And so getting to sit down with him and do this every week, it's not a chore for me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
I enjoy sitting here talking about wrestling. I enjoy sitting here and talking about life. And if somebody can't put in that effort, then that's not on us.
Right.
So just wanted to clearly air with that. But with that being said, I guess I can bring this episode to a close. I still got to go edit and upload for tomorrow's episode when we're recording this on Sunday. You guys will see this on what is next Thursday's date? Let's see.
Hold
on.
Check.
Let me know. Let me check real quick. Magic Finger is quicker than me, but
Team, I look my phone up.
count.
My computer decided to say, no, I'm not helping you out.
It is the 16th of October is when you will see this episode.
The 16th? You mean the 9th or the 16th?
Or
are you going for next week?
Yeah, so next week because Crown Jewel is this coming week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
So I don't want to crowd our audience too much. So
let's also find out. Yeah, anyone that's listening, put down what type of a top 5, top 10 conversation you want to hear about. What category do you want to hear? And we'll look up and see or go through the brains of history and find out what what category you guys want to hear about.
Yeah.
So if you guys want, who's held the IC title the most, or who's the best female wrestler or whatever, who's or who's the best wrestler in what decade, whatever you want to hear. Let's find out from the people that are watching and listening, and let's go off of what they want to hear.
Yeah, because you guys are our audience and you are why we do this. The next episode following this, of course, will probably be the Crown Jewel recap, but we will also have not this coming weekend, but the next Saturday after the 11th.
I found
Shut up, Siri. After the 11th will be the Nathan Lusk, That Guy episode. And I think that might be where we do our fantasy WrestleMania card. I think he would really enjoy that.
Ooh, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Send me the details again so I can make sure I'm prepared for that. So
yep.
That's gonna be fun.
So it should be Thursday. Okay, so probably the 18th.
Okay.
Right? Because the 18th. Yeah. The 18th will be the fantasy WrestleMania card. meaning that we can book anybody we want. It doesn't matter if they've been in WWE before, doesn't matter. But I want to every match to have a build up. I want you to explain the build up, why you chose these two, and how do we get to Mania. I think that's something you guys will enjoy. But I will bring this episode to a close because I still got to edit this past episode that we just recorded yesterday. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you. And once again, we apologize for only 2 out of the 3 co-hosts being here once again as a business associate and as a business owner, because that's what I'll look at this as. I apologize. It makes the brand look bad. It makes us look bad, and we will do better next time. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and follow button on whatever platform you're on. Love you guys.